You know, there's no, so that, really, I was convinced in my heart and my mind that he knows everything. And there were a couple of other instances, he sent us, he gave us, I think he gave us some money to do some shopping outside. There are a lot of these, this is a hill station kind of place where there are a lot of Tibetans and other, people who come from Nepal or the sites and do business of, like, they have these sweaters, mufflers, which they sell. So Swami gave money so that we could go, buy, and that way these people would also have some business. So we went out and Swami could exactly tell. When I came back, he was like, oh, so you were looking there or there. He knew exactly, and you would like, was he with me? Like, was he with me? Was he looking from inside my eyes, what I was looking? He could tell you that accurately, what you looked at. So all this is going on. And then Swami was making fun about, ring. So this is another thing, I'm kind of telling this with a few time too. And so one of these sessions where there were a lot of VIPs, and Swami said, my boys know Vedas, he said, everyone. And I was like, I got scared because I don't know. I don't know anything about Vedas. I can chant in Balvikas, I've learned shlokas, but not Vedas. And boys were like, left and right. Most of them were from Ooty. So they just went left and right chanting. And every time Swami was like, see, my boys know Vedas. And, and so he asked almost everyone in that room, more than 20 or 25 students, he asked them to chant Vedas. And he did not pick me. I was initially trying to hide, but can you hide from Swami? But he did not pick me. See, he knew exactly that if he asked me, I won't be able to speak a word. That was his only business, right? He knew I did not know that. But in the end, after the session was over, VIPs were kind of, they moved on to dinner room. For the dinner, they would start moving. And Swami said, गा सकता है, गाओ, ring gaya, ring gaya, ring gaya, without chanting, ring gaya, ring gaya. Your ring came and went. So that the teasing went on for a long, long time. Actually, 2 weeks almost rest of the time. And so it made me think probably, I don't know, maybe I was sad too in the middle, oh, I had a ring, it's gone now. And sometimes with Swami, you can never say, he doesn't give, he doesn't give. You cannot get it back. You can't force Swami. And it went on for long. And this almost became like a matter of laughing, right? He would call me doubting Thomas. But in the end, he said, no. He said, I think he saw that I'm almost, I don't know what he saw. He said, no, he's not doubting Thomas. And he one day took it off. And I think, oh my God, now I think, thank God he said I'm not. Because, Swami, when he says something, you never know. I mean, you never know, it always happens. There's no doubt about it. And so in the end, finally, he took it away. He said, no, he's not doubting Thomas. And one day, so he came out again from darshan, and I'm sitting, and we're all folding hands. And when you're expecting something, so he kind of put his hands in front of me. I'm sitting there with but I did not move. I didn't know what to do, so I'm just sitting and looking at Swami. And even before I could say, he said, see, no confidence in me. And he took his hand away. So the reaction, Swami was trying to teach me that you should have confidence that you're going to get something, otherwise you will not get. And he took his hand away. And so then I thought, yeah, maybe if I had stretched my hand, he would have given me something. That thing, the only thing I wanted was ring at that time. And so that clicked to me. And this, of course, I got another opportunity. Once he came back and he again did that same thing. And this time I did not, miss the opportunity. I kind of stretched my hands, and he just, I think, did something on his hand. He just blew. He was standing, and there was that ring. Same ring. He got it back, and he put it on my finger. So, but he took me through such a 2 to 3 week ordeal where he kind of made me pine for it, but also taught. And many things happened. We were there like all the time with Swami, except that sleeping, evening around 7 or 8 when he would say, bye-bye, he would go inside, he would close the door, he would bless, and he would close the door, and boys would then again, So that is the only time, and morning again, before Swami comes out, we would be ready to receive him. So that's the only time where we did not see him, but rest all the time we were, just pretty much moving around with him, whatever he was talking or giving darshans, we were, with him. And one of those things when I did not have this ring, I just remember this now, it just came up that he said, do you want ring? But he did not say ring. He said, do you want diamond or do you want Baba? And I just said, Swami, you. He was like, okay. So, this happened, and I always think, I don't know what he was asking me, but I always ended up saying Swami, you. And, well, it was I remember one time when he was asking, do you want diamond? And even before I could say, he said, you want Swami. I mean, he himself said that once. And so this went on, and finally I got this ring. But then when I think more about it, I think when Swami gives a ring, he actually, what he means is diamond. What it means is, as you all know, mind. He says that that's the mind which you need to get rid of. And because when the mind goes, the only thing which is left is your own self, what you really are, what you are a fragment of that, of Sai, or a particle from Swami. And I think there are many other bhajans, and I could sing, definitely will sing. And the final message which I think I took from there was definitely, as I said, unity of religion. And I definitely had this very strong, the conviction and the not only theoretically, but in real sense, I can feel now that all religions are just like ladders to reach that same goal. And we have all come from that same divine side. We are all his children, or fragments. And it's amazing that, as you read more and more about Swami or what he has written, and this is not long ago, I think this is hardly like 3-4 months back that I picked up one of the books which has letters from Swami. Swami's written letters back in the 70s. And the very first line of the letter goes, you as a body, mind, soul is just a dream, he says. And I was like, and even now, see, I'm still evolving, I think, and I was shattered. I was like, oh my God, I always thought I'm a soul. But he says, even that's a dream. He says, you are just an experience. You're just here to experience. And ehsas, we say in English, in Hindi, sorry. And with that, I think I would go on to sing a bhajan, which is my very favorite bhajan, and I would sing a couple of bhajans, and with that, we'll... Can
you sing Pyare Sai Hamare?
Pyare Sai, definitely. And this... Karuna Sagar. There is one, yeah, I could show actually. Quickly go over if you want. This is again a picture back with Swami. And, this is one of the, and you can see, in front of Swami, there are always smiles. You're always happy. There's never a moment where I was, not smiling. And so this is Ram Navami, and Swami created an idol of Sri Rama. And that's the one there. And showing that. This is, and Swami came to our bus, and then, boys would always pester Swami, why don't, can you bless, it was more of not that Swami would wear the goggle, it was getting blessed with him, or his touch, his vibrations. So one of them, Swami agreed to put, I think, and somebody clicked the pictures. And so again, like all of us are waiting down. This is, I think, at the palace of, this is a Rajmata, I think you've all heard about her. She has a place back in Uti where she invited Swami. So we all, Swami agreed to pose, so we all put on those hats, and one by one we are all going and, taking pictures with Swami. This is another picture outside of the temple. And this was, I think, one of the devotees invited Swami, and Swami took all of us for a lunch, or we'll be having that. And if we go to the bhajans, I think if we go back, sorry, I could have. If you go back, yes. Go back. Back. I think there's one bhajan. Bhagat Vatsal Tera Naam, we'll sing that. Yes. पल हर क्षण भूल करे हम, पग पग ठोकर खाए, एक पग आगे दो पग पीछे साई, तुम तक कैसे आए। करुणा सागर परम दयालु साई, भगत वत्सल तेरो नाम ओ साई, तेरो नाम साई, भगत वत्सल तेरो नाम ओ साई, भगत वत्सल तेरो नाम। तुम संग बांधी प्रेम की डोरी, तुम संग बांधी प्रेम की डोरी, सुमिरन करो तेरो नाम साई, पतित उद्धारण भक्त परायण, परमेश्वर साई भगत वत्सल तेरो नाम। So this song has a beautiful meaning that He's always there for us, and He always guards us, and we always make mistakes, but He's ready to forgive us. And I think another few, we can sing a few more bhajans or songs as you want, and then I would conclude this session. There's another bhajan of mine, Prema Mahi Saima. We could sing that. This is a bhajan which I often sang in front of Swami. Mukti Pradayini, Prema Pradayini, Shanti Pradayini Ma, Premamayi Sai Ma, Jnanamayi Sai Ma, Premamayi Sai Ma, Premamayi Sai Ma, Jnanamayi Sai Ma, Premamayi Sai Ma, Jnanamayi Sai Ma, Jaya Ma, Jaya Ma, Jaya Ma, Jaya Ma, Jaya Ma, Shiva Shakti Rupini Sai Ma, Moksha प्यारे साई हमारे, दिल खोल देखो ये मेरा, इसमें न कोई दूजा, बस एक तेरा बसेरा, प्यारे साई हमारे, तुम पास जब भी आते, जरा सा जब मुस्कुराते, अपनी प्यारी प्यारी नजर से, साई रोते दिलों को हंसाते, तुम पास जब भी आते, जरा सा जब मुस्कुराते, अपनी प्यारी प्यारी नजर से, साई रोते दिलों को हंसाते, प्यार भरी नजरों से, रोते दिलों को हंसाते, प्यार भरी नजरों से, रोते दिलों को हंसाते, मेरे साथ दिल में उमंग और खुशी भर लाते, प्यारे साई हमारे, प्यारे साई हमारे। Before we end, I think I'll also very quickly share this thing which came up since we sang this song. This was first sung actually by Ravi Kumar when Swami came to hostel in Patti. And at that point, even at that point, I was still trying to sing and learn. And I got a Sanskrit part to sing. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajaman Arana Bhava Bhayadarunam Navakanjalochana Kanja Mukhakara Kanja Pada Kanjarunam Shri Ram, Shri Ram. And the last stanza is beautiful. Iti vadati tulasidas Shankara Sesha Muni Manaranjanam Mamaridaya Kanja Nivasa Guru Kamadi Kalatalaganjanam Shri Ram, Shri Ram. And why I sang this was, I got this song. This is not that I chose, but somehow, through one of the teachers or our teachers, they thought that this was an appropriate song for the occasion. I think it's probably Ram Navami. And I spent, and you cannot read in front of Swami. You can't read. You could not be reading with a paper. Swami doesn't like that. And so I kind of memorized and as it is, I closed my eyes. And so I think I was under a lot of, I didn't want to make a mistake. That was my fear. And so when I came back to the hostel, room after, and everybody told me, you know what? Swami was singing with you. When you were singing, he was also singing Sri Ram, and he was singing. And that probably gave a boost to my ego. I was like, wow, Swami was singing. Probably he was singing because I should not forget. He was helping me. But long, just to share this, some years back I realized, Swami is nothing but Shiva. He was avatar of Shiva. And if you read Vedas, it says that Shiva always remembers or worships Hari or Rama. And Rama always, thinks of Shiva. And it was so appropriate, like Swami there was Shiva thinking about Rama. So probably it was not to save me there, but even because he was singing, and probably when he was singing, I did not make a mistake. And but I still remember this incident, and I thought I'd share. And with that, I think I'll end. And thank you so much for listening and giving me this chance. share, and I hope I could make this and a satsang which we will all remember. Sadly.
Everyone, we are so blessed. I don't know if you can hear me. We are so blessed to have had Brother Suresh here today, sharing with us the enormous love of Swami. Thank you. It's so fitting for a birthday to be enveloped by this wonderful love.
On behalf of Cleveland Science Center, I would like to give Suresh Sharma this award. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful success, and we are blessed to have you here. It was very wonderful. And to be honest, I was drawn into the Science Center hearing your song.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
I think we're finished for right this moment.